In part 1 of this series, we went over the initial reactions to Karl Jobst losing his lawsuit to Billy Mitchell. A lot of people were upset and feeling that Karl had misled them, and this led him to put out a couple statements online. However, over the last couple days, Karl has been going into his Discord and talking about the case. He's gone over the judge ruling, calling the judge ridiculous and biased. He said his lawyers were careless and didn't value his opinion, while also simultaneously saying F the lawyers, he'll say what he wants, as well as old messages resurfacing from about a month ago where he ran the court transcripts through ChatGPT, and the AI confirmed that he had the win locked down. Welcome to the internet versus Karl Jobst lawsuits fallout. It starts off with Karl making an announcement that he will be making a response video when he tweets out, "I will be releasing a video next weekend outlining everything in detail. Thanks for everyone who has patience until then. I am not bitter for any negative comments or videos about me until then. I have been very critical of people in the past. It would be extremely hypocritical of me to feel like I should be treated any differently. I dish out a lot. I should be able to take it back. I am confident I will be able to ease a lot of concern or perhaps some incorrect narratives with my response. I hope you watch it." And Zeddy replies, "Karl, I've been here since the beginning and I will say the transition to almost all drama content, although very profitable, is so much worse than your speedrunning content. I hope you can focus more on that going forward, especially in the world of Doom." And Karl replies, "As long as people are willing to hear out my side of the story and they continue to watch my videos, I will 100% do that." Darkside Flow replies, "You had several years to tell your side of the story, which ended up being complete bullshit." Black replies to Karl's original post by saying, "No more Billy Mitchell videos after this, please. Focus on speedrunning content." And Karl replies, "You might be right." And Perk Angel replies, "Not like you can afford another lawsuit, my friend." Damaged Sector replies to Karl by saying, "I'm looking forward to this video and hope you are not only thorough, but actually acknowledge not just that people feel misled, but how/why. That would go a long way. I had a lot of respect for your content and I'm willing to hear you out and give some, but not all of that back." Again, Anim replies, "Prediction, a lot of gaslighting. He will show the one time he did briefly talk about the nature of the case in a video from a while ago and use it to claim that he never tried to mislead. Will justify his excessive Billy Mitchell videos by saying that's the point of his channel. Will apologize to you for saying that while he understands why you might have felt misled, it was never his intention and it was a failure of communication on his part. Will say he will take a few months off from uploading to process everything." Overspark replies to Karl's post by saying, "Gotta be honest, a lot of these negative comments don't feel genuine to me. I'm sure some are, but most of the interactions have been with Billy Mitchell D-writers who would have torn you apart no matter what. Either way, looking forward to the likely very long video." Then Omnipotent posts on the YouTube drama subreddit, "Karl Jobst responds to court loss, slams the judge's ruling and explains his plan to appeal," and attaches DMs that Karl was sending to his public Discord, where it starts off with a user saying, "Hate Billy, sure, but I don't think it's exactly fair to attack the judge, as he seemed like he did try to rule fairly in the context of the law. Unfortunately, Billy's team just played the game better. I don't want this comment to be misconstrued as Billy's support, but I've seen a lot of chatter against the judge on various places, not as much here, and I feel like that misses the mark." And Karl replies, "Oh, the judge was ridiculous in his judgment. You'd have to look at previous cases with similar awards. They all have the doctor's testimonies backing up the health harm, etc., or specialists confirmed XYZ. Billy just said he was hurt. That is absolutely not sufficient for an award this high, and there was clear bias. He unnecessarily attacked me many times for things that had nothing to do with the complaint." And the user replies, "I haven't read through his other cases, just the doc." And Karl says, "There was a similar award last year, but the guy had multiple doctor testimonies and diagnosed multiple health issues due to the statements, etc. And he'd been seeing doctors for years about it. It is ridiculous to just go and say you were hurt without any expert testimony and get this kind of judgment. It had nothing to do with reality other than the judge wanted to make an example out of me, which is not a justifiable reason." Friendly Local replies to the post by saying, "Got to lose that second $1 million. And Omnipotent replies, "It seems he's under the impression that the appeals process won't cost much and only takes a day. I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like there would be a lot of billable hours before that one-day hearing." And he attaches a Discord messages of a user asking, "But lawyer costs will double if you appeal, right?" And Karl says, "No, the appeal is just like a one-day hearing." And then Important Question Text replies, "Holy shit, how can someone be this unaware? Appeals are expensive, and if you're lucky, it's a one-day hearing, but usually it's a multiple week sort of issue. Either he's not listening to his lawyer or his lawyer is giving him bad advice, and I'm inclined to think he's not listening." Fusion Man replies to Op by saying, "Karl, this is why the judge didn't like you. I'm being attacked for stuff unrelated to the judgment. The judge literally said you are stubborn, arrogant, and unable to change your mind, that you will not change your mind even when presented contrary evidence. That's incredibly relevant." And Potential Music replies, literally proving the judge right with every statement he continues to make. Eldritch Elizabeth replies, "Do you understand how much of a pathetic fuckwit you have to be in order for me to consider Billy fucking Mitchell the reasonable adult in the room?" And Roscoe replies, "Yep, this is the only way to view this. Karl very clearly purposely misled everyone with this whole court case. He absolutely deserved to lose, and as much as it pains me to say, Billy deserved to win." Captain Mills replies to OP by saying, "Does Karl think that the only kind of farm defamation can cause is medical?" And AJ Stormchaser says, "Apparently, Billy had examples of him losing money from losing speaking engagements. I don't know, just move on." Stand Still For Me replied to OP by saying, "One thing that made me question Karl Jobst from the start was when he started attacking Billy's lawyers. Like, brother, it's their job. Made me feel like he was a bit immature, so not surprised that this happened." And Fusion Man replies, "I know I posted this to another comments of yours, but oh my god, this spells out everything." And attaches an image of some of the court documents that say, "Mr. Jobst impressed as a very self-confident person and one who has strong views that he rarely, if ever, changes. He also rarely admits that he is wrong. For example, during the trial, Mr. Jobst claimed that he still considers that Mr. Mitchell is trying to ruin people's lives and that he is a scumbag and insane. Words he used in the video. He confirmed that when he published the video, he considered Mr. Mitchell to be evil, although he felt that he, Mr. Jobst, had matured slightly since then and would not necessarily say he is evil anymore. He also said that he still believes that the settlement between Mr. Mitchell and Apollo Legend contributed to Apollo Legend's decision to commit," although later he explained his reasoning for this view, and then it posts a quote of Karl Jobst saying, "I just felt like the settlement agreements harmed Apollo Legend in multiple ways that would have definitely affected him negatively, and was my opinion that those negative impacts wouldn't have helped his decision in the end." And it continues by saying, "Mr. Jobst clearly has an obsession with or a vendetta against Mr. Mitchell. Whether that vendetta is real or confected in order to boost his own reputation and viewers does not really matter. The fact is that by the time he published this video, Mr. Jobst had made very public his dislike for Mr. Mitchell, his disappointment that others had settled their disputes with Mr. Mitchell, his desire to be sued by Mr. Mitchell, and his determination not to back down if he achieved that desire." ZPKS Piano replies to OP by saying, "He unnecessarily attacked me many times for things that had nothing to do with the complaints," and attaches this compilation of the 22 videos that Karl made on Billy during the lawsuits. Pauper Vida tweets out, "Karl Jobst is spurging out flamenco style in his Discord. He is now blaming his lawyers and the judge. It's not his fault." And it starts with Karl saying, "They thought they were going to win easily because Billy is a liar and his case is stupid." And RoboGuy420 replies, "Damn, Karl's lawyers' brains were full of balls." And Karl says, "They were complacent because they thought they were going to win." And Ursit's Cats replies, "Billy meanwhile throws everything at the wall." And Karl says, "But the judge just lapped up everything Billy gave him. I even suggested to my lawyers I show those emails, and they didn't care. Like, seriously, they really didn't value my input much. It was pretty fucked." And then he replies to Nuke saying, "That's the thing, we know that. People who didn't pay attention, not that much." And Karl says, "This is why in my response video I will show emails from me to my lawyer when I say I want this to get as many views as possible, as I was making the vid for the retraction." And Popper continues their thread with this image of messages that Karl sent back in 2024, where he says, "You know what's fucked? How good really good lawyers are. I have a new appreciation for how insane really good lawyers are. They are geniuses in a unique way. I believe my trial lawyer to be a genius." And this was back in September of 2024. Billy Mitchell has been continuing to flex on Twitter since the win, when he also tweets out, "Bad news for my enemies. I woke up." Genius Dude 69 then posts more DMs on the our YouTube drama subreddit of Karl interacting about his lawyers and titles it, "Fuck the lawyers I paid for with your money," and attaches DMs of Karl Jobst saying, "I will get sued," and a user responding, "Do you ever run scripts for videos like this past a lawyer, or is it not worth the expense?" And Karl Jobst replied, "No, I don't, because fuck lawyers and what they think. If I want to say something, I will say it. Fuck letting other people tell you what to do. A lawyer will always tell you to say nothing. Who wants to live by that principle?" And these messages are from March 28th, by the way, just about a day, 2 days before he lost his lawsuit. And I went ahead and found Karl Jobst's Discord and just looked for the context. It's him working on an unrelated video that he then later says that he is 99% sure he will get sued for, that the guy is a total con artist. And that's when the person questions running it by a lawyer. And then replies, "That's usually true, but sometimes they will just tell you to deny any wrongdoing." And Karl says, "I hate every single lawyer except the ones that represent me. Unless I lose, then I will hate them too. Lel. Feel your feelings replies, hello you absolute legends. Today, I lost over $1 million when you account for lawyer fees. And Copris replies, it'll be interesting to see how he covers this news on the channel. Must feel horrible to lose in court so publicly. And OP continues his post by saying, dude really did a GoFundMe, got 200k in donations under false pretenses, hired lawyers and said fuck him. So remember, if you gave him money, this is what it went to. And Sleepy Replicon replies, it's wild that the guy that blew up a donation scam was running his own donation scam at the same time. Wonder what Muda has to say about this. Billy Mitchell himself then catches wind of these DMs and posts them on his Twitter page. And Shamu replies, Billy just keeps stacking those W's. Crazy. And Pauper Vita replies, Karl is still claiming victory too. He's ready to double down. And attaches Discord messages of Karl saying, I don't think Billy wants to or could afford to go through this again anytime soon. And Chris Highwind replies, true, he might just decide to quit while he's ahead. And Karl says, he isn't ahead. Wobbs Dole replies to Billy Mitchell by saying, you still faked your records. Nicandros tweets out, this can't be a real screenshot, can it? To verify it is a real screenshot. Billy Mitchell went up against the Leviathans and won. In its DMs from March 3rd, just about a month ago, where Karl says, okay, so here's what is interesting. We fed all the court transcripts in AI. It said there's no scenario where I lose, lol. It even said if Billy wins, the damages will be nominal and he will have to pay my costs. Ali replies, the arrogance of this loser makes me want to punch my monitor. And Lord Yoshi says, did he use the Mama Max lawyers? Shout out to Kiko, our first internet representative, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.